everybody, it's Sandy here, and it is time for the full moon rose reading for the Pisces full moon in August of 2018. So it's August the 26th. I'm a day ahead. This is the 25th that I'm doing this recording on, but the full moon is tomorrow on the 26th. And at 3 degrees of 12 of Pisces. Hi Carolyn, thank you for joining, and hi Claire, hello. Yeah, so this is a bank holiday weekend here in the UK, and as ever we've got some pretty unpredictable weather that's offering us some interesting different aspects of our experience for the weekend. So yeah, we are entering the closing chapters, if you like, of the eclipse portal that we've been through this summer. These 3 eclipses and the Lionsgate energy, hi Sass, that has just offered us this portal of transformation, this portal of diving deep in seeing what needs to be released. It's like excavating the basement in our homes, I think. You know, when we look at a space from an alchemical perspective, you've got the basement, which holds the history. Hi Pam. So the basement will hold your history, your past. Your main space holds your current time, and your attic holds your future. So we have been excavating in the basement, I feel, through this summer period and these eclipses through July and August. And the Lionsgate energy, and just this, it's like it's been offered us with these 7 planets in retrograde. You know, review, you know, reinvent, really look at what works and what doesn't work for you, what needs to be released. It's all of these words that we've been exploring our connection with, our heartfelt connection with, and what's my truth now? What is really calling me forward? What's calling me to pay attention? So this has been a tricky time for so many of us, and really up and down energetically, so that we can be in what feels like a really clear connection and, you know, 5th dimensional alignment, very bliss-based sort of sense of presence. And yet within a nanosecond, you know, we can be diving and having to navigate some far more interesting waves of energy. So this place of transiting between a 3D, a 3rd dimensional field of experience in our day-to-day living, and having to deal with the practicalities of what it means to be here on planet Earth at this time, sort of in presence, and yet we know that we're here to bring in these higher frequencies and codes of light. Hi Lisa. So it's just so fascinating, this process of navigating these levels of frequency, and yet coming into this place of inner alignment and presence, so that we don't get blown off either way with these different winds of change that have been buffeting us. So what have we got from the astrology? You know, we've had these 7 planets retrograde. Mercury has now gone direct, and actually once we move through this weekend, we've got Mars going direct as well. So a lot of the review, renew, recalibrate work that we've been doing on an inner level can start to grab a foothold, if you like, that we will be able to start to make some steady progress, particularly once Mars starts to get some traction. And for many of us, you know, there's been a frustration because actually there's been amazing insights and, you know, a bit of a buzz on being able to create new programs or have a sense of a new pathway and a new offering, and then it all goes quiet again. And you know, so, and it's like, what happened? Where did the energy go on that? And then we've had to wait till it comes back up again. But so much of this time is being about really weeding out what doesn't work for us anymore, and coming into this new moon, this full moon, it's really a culmination. So it's so much now about, okay, what do we want to take forward with us? What really matters? What has a truth to it? What really resonates for us? And it has to be where there is joy, or where there is a sense of fun, where there is an open-heartedness to the playfulness that is possible for us when we engage with light, when we engage with that lighter aspect of ourselves. So we have been into interesting times. This has really been a portal of transformation. I mean, this year is really a year of alchemy. It is a year in which we can look at what's been holding us back, where the old stories are. For those of you that are, you know, follow me on Facebook, even today I was blessed with a session with a good friend of mine here who works with a variety of different tools, you know, and often when it's our own stuff, it doesn't matter how masterful you are at your particular tool. And as you know, I'm a pranic healer, pranic psychotherapist. I've done all sorts of things: NLP, timeline, hypnotherapy, holistic counselling. There's all sorts of tools in the tool bag. But when it's our own stuff, it's like trying to clear your own house. You know, there is stuff that's in absolute resonance with the core of your story, and it's really difficult to see your own stuff, let alone have the tools to move it. And many of us have been diligently working on our own stuff. It's why we've got the tools in the first place. But there is a place in which sometimes being able to rest in the safe holding of a trusted fellow light worker or channel will enable us to take a view on something that will crack open another aspect of our story. And just today I've had another piece of my story revealed that's been so much about loss and aloneness in my personal journey. So I had no idea that was sitting in there, sitting in my field at a cellular level, and impacting on my sense of self-value, self-worth, and courage to move forward. You know, this place for many of us working with the light is that there is an aloneness to the path. You know, it is always said that the Magdalene and the story of the Magdalene, there is an aspect of being cast out of the tribe, or being birthed into a family where we don't fit. Finding our soul tribe and finding our brothers and sisters that resonate with us on a deeper level is you know, a huge part of our journey, a huge part of the uncovering now of where do I fit, where is my alignment, you know, because sometimes it's not even the alignment that we had last year. There is such a rapid change for those that have come to be way showers, that those that have come to be illuminators, and you know, first wavers, those of us that belong to the 50s and 60s as our point of origin. we came in here as the first wavers, and therefore we're carrying keys and codes of light that have been the way in which the doors have opened for the indigo wave to come after us, and of course the beautiful crystal and rainbow children who, you know, we now have, well, for me personally, you know, that's my grandchildren. They are pure radiant beams of light, and they're to be treasured as the pathway forward for those of us that have come to hold this pathway of light. And so many of us recognize this storyline because we've come from Lemurian or Atlantean coding that's brought us in through this timeline journey to now. Of course, for many of us, we are souls who incarnated way prior to the known timelines of Lemuria and Atlantis. Hi, Anka. Nice of you to join us. Hi, Patricia. So yeah, these are powerful, powerful times for us to really start to see what we came to seed, what we came to hold within our own heart coding, what we need to diligently clear from our genetic timelines, and also, of course, what we've actually come to. Hi, Tracy. And so, yeah, this is powerful, powerful times. Hi, Trudy. Hi. So yes, thank you all for joining. Thank you so much. But these are just incredible times, and this place of finding this seed coding that we have brought with us to now plant into the fertile soil that we have created through the diligence of our work. So, powerful, powerful times. Full moon, always the time to look at what else needs to be released, what needs to be let go of that may be contaminating or corrupting your vision path forward. Really seeing and tuning in what's in alignment now, where does discomfort for me, and what absolutely lights me up. And the only path to follow is the path that lights you up. And know, absolutely trust in your deepest heart space that what's for you won't pass you by, that there is an absolute vibrational alignment to what can come into your field, what can come in and stand beside you as a beloved, what can be the inspiration and the light that will bring you, that will carry you forward. So these are stunningly inspirational times that we are stepping forward. Yes, we still have 5 of the planets retrograde, and some of them will be until we get into next February. But the fact that we have got some of the key movers and shakers now that feel that they've done their work in, you know, retrograde planets again are these re-words, taking us back to review, to reorient, reconnect. These are opportunities for us to realign with the absolute core of our higher soul self and our soul coding. What did you absolutely hold within your deepest heart field to bring forward at this time? And it has an alignment to your absolute soul truth and your alignment and coding as a starseed and what you've come here to hold. So, what might the roses have to offer us as inspiration and guidance in this upcoming period? Because, you know, the roses are pure keys and codes of light. They just offer us the opportunity of another little look at where there might need to be a little bit of a course correction, or where we need to hold focus to really hold an anchor and connection into the earth. You know, I've spoken many times about the fact that my journey here is, you know, most of the time I've actually not wanted to be here. It's been too painful to be in this physical body. It's like any opportunity, especially into meditation and so on, was to take me out of body. It was not to bring me into this alchemical pot. And the learning for me over these previous years has been, get in there, girl. You know, keep in the body, keep with the program, keep finding your place in nature, finding your place of grounded, earthed presence. And I've recognized too that so much of our journey, hi Lisa, hi, is to actually honor and own our own root. You know, it just to honor and own our own roots, so that we absolutely know that we have this complete alignment between our earth star, our soul star, the stellar gateway, the Gaia gateway, and the iron core crystal in the center of Mother Earth, and you know the grand central sun, the alignment of light from the divine. And then we can bring these higher codes of light energy down through our bodies. That's what we're clearing this thing for. This is what we're clearing this alchemical pot for. To be acupuncture points of light, to be able to bring this light fully into the body, to anchor it. You know, this was the knowledge of the temple work. This was the knowledge of the Tantra work. It was to bring the energies absolutely into body. And of course, this is a lot of my work with working with sacred space and working with the space alchemy and creating sanctuary space and true temple space that really supports our expression in the world, because we have to have that place where we come home, that our energy fields can unpack, and that we can plug in and recharge, so that we can go back out in the world and share the essence of who we are and what we've come to be as a light and an inspiration for others, to share our story, or to share the pathway that you know, the answers or the guidance that we've found. Hi Pam. Hi Ruth. To find the ways in which we support ourselves, and find that path of self-mastery within ourselves to be able to illuminate that path for others. So, shall we see what the roses have got to share with us for this particular full moon? So, are you drawn to rose card 1, to rose card 2, or to rose card 3? So just have a tune in and see which one lit up for you. And of course, as I've said before, I may well be sharing just one card that called you, but actually all three work together. They hold a matrix of light and energy that can you know, can work as a team of energies for us. So if you were drawn to rose card 1, she is rose 3. Now, rose 3 is one of the original roses from the original 11 that I started working with in 2010. This rose on the rose healing grid sits on the spleen. She sits on the spleen chakra. Now, as I said earlier on in this reading, my energy anatomy background is, I started with Reiki in '93, and I went through into Sekem, which is an Egyptian form of energy healing. But my modality of choice from 2000 onwards was pranic healing. And the energy anatomy of pranic healing always includes the spleen chakra. And this is it's a minor chakra. And the spleen and the liver chakra feels to me almost like sort of stabilizer wheels on the solar plexus. They are the places in which we can create balance in our lives, especially around that solar plexus energy, which is that sense of personal will and our ability to trust ourselves and to take action in the world. Of course, it also is the place where we can digest life. So the liver and the spleen just, feel like they're the stabilizer wheels on the bike. So the spleen is an organ that is a filter for the blood, but it also feels to me to have a connection to boundaries. So a good, healthy spleen energy will give a good sense of boundaries and a good sense of inner strength within the body. The spleen in Chinese medicine also works in conjunction with the pancreas. So you often see spleen, pancreas energy. Hi, Anna. Weaving together. Now, this rose has always had a connection to joy. And of course, the pancreas energy is where we digest the sugars. It's where we produce insulin. It's where we digest the sugars, the sweetness in life. So this rose also calls us to make sure that we make time for fun. We make time for joy in our lives. And this feels to be her message at this time. For most of us, we've been through quite a tricky summer. It's been intense. It's been deep. It's been calling us to clear the closets, to clear the out-of-date energies that we might still have around us. And she's calling us to joy. You've got to factor in joy into your experience, and also, make sure that you are keeping good boundaries. This is one of the key places, especially for us as empaths, that we have good boundaries between our sense of ourselves and our sense of others. I know this has been a real place of mastery for me. It's always been a real challenge in relationship to find out where I end and someone else starts. There's a very diffuse sense of boundaries. And I've really recognised that as I've worked with my spleen energy, it's been a lot better and a lot easier to create discernment. Now the spleen is a minor chakra, so it's half the size of the normal chakras in the body, and there is a front and back spleen chakra for those of you that are interested in energy anatomy. And these are all the sort of things that I share in the Rose 1 class. So if you're interested in the roses, it would be, worth looking at the new set of classes that I'll be programming in once we go through into September. Get out of this retrograde period before I put new offerings in. So she, if you've got spleen issues, if you've got issues around your immune system, good boundaries, or that sense of needing that sort of sense of sweetness in your life, you can actually put this. The spleen is just under the lower left ribs, and obviously we're reversed because I'm on an iPhone. But under the left lower ribs is where you sit the spleen. So if you've got the Rose Alchemy Oracle, you can use this card and actually sit her on your spleen to help recharge the energy. Or you can put a glass of water on her and drink the energetic signature through water. So if you were drawn to Rose card 2, she is Rose Angel 10. Now the Rose Angels are the jewels of transformation, and this rose sits in base 2nd chakra, and she holds the frequency and the transformer of the wound of abandonment, where we can abandon ourselves, let alone experience being abandoned by another, but where we abandon ourselves. And so her calling is to deepen self-love, self-value, and self-esteem. And this is what allows us to really feel that sense of root and connection, that sense of presence in the body. And this rose, hi Renee, this rose is like a cup. So she is just, this rose actually is called the Queen of Sweden. She's a David Austin rose. And I photographed her, she called to me at the Chelsea Flower Show. I won tickets for the Chelsea Flower Show a few years back. And she winked at me from the David Austin stand and went, photograph me, photograph me. So she's like an invitation. She's like that petal that's down is like her invitation in to feel that sense of holding, that sense of beautiful cupped holding that we offer ourselves when we don't abandon ourselves, when we don't vacate, when we don't pull ourselves out of the body, but we actually stay in it, that we stay anchored. She's connected to the jewel of ruby. And the rose angels, when I work with them, are really about transforming the wounds to love to the jewels. And they're the jewels that as we move into the energy of king or queen, we set these jewels in our crown. Many years ago, I had a reading by a lady whose name, Leela Beck, her name was. And goodness, I mean, she must have been in her 70s or 80s then, and this has got to be nearly 20 years ago. And she read the colour rays on the crown and the colour rays that you had mastered to set into your crown. And, you know, in times gone by, of course, you know, the gems and the jewels were set into the shields for battle, and they were set into the crowns, the actual physical golden crowns that the queen or the king wore. So this rose is the calling to own the ruby, to own that sense of presence and rootedness in the body, and to be able to set her as mastery into your crown. So if you drew rose card 2, look at all the ways in which self-love, self-value and self-esteem are put at the forefront of your pathway forward. This is the place where we anchor the energy into the body. And if you were drawn to rose card 3, here is Rose Angel 9. Now, I've never had 2 rose angels that have come together in a reading that are holding the same energy. The rose angels are 11 roses that are, there are 2 roses for each of the wounds that act as transformers. And the 11th rose is the golden heart that opens up when we put these 5 different jewels in the crown. So this rose holds the same energy and coding as Rose Angel 10, but this is slightly different, as you can tell by the energy of the rose. Whereas Rose Angel 10 held the cup and this sense of support and container, this rose holds divine protection when we step forward into that place of mastery and ownership of those qualities of self-love, self-value and self-esteem. So there is this real feeling with this rose that if you were drawn to her and you called her into your presence today, that she is saying to you, just surrender into this place of knowing that if you hold this honouring of yourself. Now, base second chakra, base is your tribal connection. Second chakra is the individuation. Who am I inside the tribe? What are my unique qualities? What did I come here to hold in my coding? So these two, when they're held together, are the ability to hold and anchor the energy and know that when we honour ourselves in that way, that more of the divine light comes down and we have angelic and divine protection for our path forward. So there we are. There's our 3 roses for today's reading. And as I say, you can work with them by, if you've got the oracle, by putting them under your pillow, putting them by your desk, putting water on them. I mean, even with the full moon, put these out and allow the full moon, the solar energies in particular that are reflected off of the moon in a full moon, to charge the energy of the water and use it as an essence. That solar energy charges the solar plexus and gives us the power and the illumination to start taking our dreams forward, to start making those things that you might have on a wish list or a vision board, beginning to bring them into physicalization. It's coming to time. So I have brought my violet gold alchemy bowl once more to hold the energies of the 3 roses that we have here in the reading. This is a bowl of mastery, and she calls us to mastery, and this is what this time is really about. This is about letting go of the storylines and the wound patterns that have held us back, and to, with courage, to start to make the steps that make our dreams and our visions a reality in our day-to-day living. So just before I play the bowl at the end, I'm going to tell you just about, there's on the newsletter tomorrow, there will be the link to download the Cosmic Roses. Yes, it's only taken me 18 months to actually get the PDF written and to get it onto the website. So there's a big rewrite going on the website at the moment. The classes for Guernsey, I'm doing a Rose Angel class and also a Rose Bagua, the Inner Feng Shui of Love, in Guernsey at the beginning of October. And there's some new classes that I'm going to be offering online and in person here in Hampshire. And yeah, these are the 4 cosmic roses. So I spoke of these at the beginning of the session. They are the Soul Star, the Earth Star, the Stellar Gateway and the Gaia Gateway. And they create this amazing vesica of light when you're doing rose grids and remote rose healing, or when you're working within your own energy field to do healing work for another. I did a session this morning when those codes were really, really active in activating a connection with the client I was working with to through the Christ, the gold grid, the Christ gold grid, connecting and aligning with her higher soul self to do the healing. And they're really opening up a new way of working, which is really exciting, and expanding the roses. So if you would just like to listen and absorb the rose frequencies, they are heading in your direction. So as you can tell, I'm really enjoying this weave of the crystals and the roses, and I'm looking forward to sharing some more of the classes weaving the crystals and the rose work. This is the ancient temple knowledge that is so being called for now for us to share. Those of us that have memory and recall of this are being called now. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'm heading off now to have dinner with my daughter, my son-in-law and my 2 granddaughters. So I am feeling very blessed. So till we speak again, love and rosy blessings to you. Bye bye.